We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard with you live downtown Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is your spot, and we have a 3-hour banger lined up today. We'll hit, I think this is actually the best NBA card that we've had in months, dare I say. You got none of the tanking BS going on tonight. You got 6 legitimate good games, legitimately good games, with teams that actually care. So we'll hit that multiple times. And phenomenal guests today, including Eddie Olczyk, big NHL card tonight as well. He's on in 30 minutes. Gavin McCarthy, dynamite previews and write-ups on college basketball games. We'll preview the Final Four in an hour with him. Jay Billis in 90 minutes. Doug Kazarian as well, and Steve Wiss with some best bets in soccer this weekend. Let's begin with the aforementioned NBA card tonight. And we'll get to Lakers Thunder here in a minute, but we have to start with what took place last night, tied into tonight, with Wemby going absolutely bonkers in that game and planting his flag yet again. And it was a great spot to do it against the Warriors, who were without basically everybody. I don't know how this NBA MVP thing is going to turn out, but man, he's making a great case for it. 41 points, 18 rebounds, 4 blocks. He played 28 minutes.
That's the other thing. That should be used in his favor and part of his argument.
That's how I totally agree.
LeBron has played more minutes than he has, and some people are using it as a negative.
Yeah, how?
I can't believe it. There was a special up at FanDuel, 35 and 14 paid plus 875. Oh. And then we talked about it yesterday. You have to ladder this because he's on a mission. 40 points was almost 6-1. 35 points tonight at Caesars is plus 425. He's down to plus 225 to win the MVP. And the other thing you can look at is 5 games in a row, he's had at least 15 rebounds. 15 rebounds tonight pays 225. So they had an easy time of it. Some people might be concerned about the back-to-back. It does seem like a fishy line against the Clippers. But his numbers and his stats and this 26-2 run as a team, it's great what they're doing. And I would only look to ladder him again, points and rebounds, based on how well he's playing, which also begs the question, what if he plays a lot of minutes?
All right, no kidding. I do have some concerns about tonight, actually. So let me point this out and see if you want to give me the Mutombo and reject it out of my face, that's fine. They did play the Clippers twice this year. He did, actually. Both of those came in March. He had 21, 13, and 4 blocks over 34 minutes. That came in a 4-point win. And then there was that crazy game in a back-to-back where they were dead and buried.
They're down 25.
And they came all the way back. They won that game by 4. Remember that game? He was bending over after the game, and he said, I've never put that much into a game in my entire life. He had 27, 10, and 4 blocks, only played 22 minutes because of the back-to-back. So the Clippers have done a pretty good job on him throughout the year. But I agree with you. Like, we're going to get this Lakers-Thunder game going on first. It's not going to be over with. And SGA is probably going to have a great game tonight because he wants to plant his flag for this award as well. And then Wemby's probably going to come out and match him yet again. I played 30-plus, and I think it was plus, I'll double-check, but I think it was plus 190 today to have 30-plus points in the game tonight. Hasn't gotten to that mark against the Clippers yet this year, but you nailed this yesterday, Pauly, to point that out on the program. Like, he wants it, ladder him, and I'll go back to that one more time here.
SGA is plus 130 to have 35. He's 3-1 to have 40 and 8-1 to have 45. So you're right about that the games will be going on at the same time. The other thing is the Clippers are off for poor performance.
Right.
Losing at home to Portland as they're trying to lock up this at least the 8 seed. And if they wouldn't have played with their food, they would have caught Phoenix and had the 7. So again, there's a big difference between the 8 and the 9 seed. And certainly Lou and Van Gundy, no defense. And if they can slow him down and at least contain him tonight, he should get a big effort from the Clippers. But it still seems low. They're just how well they're playing. And not to mention, they have They have the appetizer Saturday. After this, they go to Denver and play the Nuggets at noon on Amazon.
Yeah.
So all the opportunities to see this guy on the big stage, and the blocks have been there, the rebounds have been there, everything's been there. So I have to keep riding the Spurs here and think the number's short, even though the Clippers have done well against them, and Kawhi didn't play in the last game, and they still hung in there and got the money. But you can also start with SGA and ladder, and you can come right back with Wemby too. How these guys are, I'll show you, and I'll try to one-up you based on this great award and the back and forth and the incredible. And I wouldn't put Luka out either. I mean, that's the other. Not that he should win the award, but the run that Luka's on. I mean, how do you want to ladder Luka? Props. He's 3-1 to score 40. He's averaging 36 a game in the month of March.
I would also maybe look at first quarter numbers with him, props.
Yeah.
Because he comes out, and a lot of these games, he's got like 15 at the end of the first quarter. Pretty much plays the entire time. Now, Oklahoma City's defense is another story. And oh, by the way, this is like the first true test we're going to get between these two teams. I say that because it's only the third game. They have one more coming up on the schedule before the end of the regular season. On November 12th at Oklahoma City, the Thunder won 121-92. No LeBron in that game. Luke also did not play well. He had 19 points, 7 of 20 in 33 minutes. He was minus 31 in the box score. Reeves had 13 on 4 of 12 in 30 minutes. He was minus 24 in the game. And on February 9th in LA, the Thunder won 119-110. SGA did not play. There was also no Luka. That game was actually close.
This is a completely different team.
100%. I throw both those games out.
Yeah, and people were taking shots at LeBron, and they're better off without him, and they can't figure that. Well, they figured this out when the big three are on the floor together. So since they've been on the floor going back, they've outscored their opponents 9 points per game, and they're on a 12-2 run. They also added Kennard at the deadline, which is big. Number one in the NBA, 49% from three. And during March, when they went 15-2, and Luka averaged almost 37 a game, 123 points per 100 possessions when he's on the floor. That's insanity. How great this. So you're going against the number one defense. It's a great test. I'm shocked at the line. I know this is a great team, but they're laying 9 at home. The Lakers did get them last year.
You're shocked you think it's too high?
Yeah, I think it's too high, yes, especially how well the Lakers are playing. Last year, late in the season, the Lakers went there and blasted them. There was a game where it was raining threes. Then they played again. And that's the game that was tight with 5 minutes left, and the official thought Luka was talking to him and kicked him out of the game when he was yelling at a fan. So it's a great measuring stick and a great litmus test to see you've been awesome, you're beating playoff teams, your resume's incredible, you should get the 3 seed. Let's see how they stack up tonight as OKC's trying to stick to 1.
Caruso is questionable, and he was awesome the time that they played in February when SGA did not go. Isaiah Joe was also great off the bench. He had 19 in that game. Marcus Smart out for the Lakers again tonight.
That's why you've seen over movement, too.
Yeah.
As Aaron Renning said last week, he loves to play Laker games over when Smart isn't there.
Yeah. I think if this, now it opened 8.5, got to 9.5. It's at 9 right now here at Circa. If this goes back up, Paul, I would also look. I mean, I'd take 9.5 or 10 absolutely with the Lakers. 9, I'd probably still go that way as well. I just want to see which way the market's going to go. And again, they have to run it back again in a couple of days.
Yeah.
So, is the SGA prop too obvious tonight? It's 30.5. It's been bet. The juice is like minus 130. In fact, if you want to just say, will he get to 30 points, it's minus 160, I believe.
No, not obvious. This is great with the tit for tat here and what's going on with these two stars.
He scored exactly 30 in the one game he played against the Lakers this year.
And the other thing got to be, what whistle does he get? And is it a parade to the free throw line, which might be the case. But you're also going against the Lakers. And who gets a better whistle than the Lakers?
Yeah.
Maybe Duke, and that's it. But the Lakers, they also attack the rack, but they're right up there and always getting calls.
How about Luka threes, too?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's been efficient, and he takes a lot of them.
He'll take a dozen tonight, probably.
Right. And a big game for the Buzz City Killers. You can do this.
Which is what?
Get at least the 8 seed, maybe the 7.
That's definitely in play.
And it really helps you. Now, the odds have swung. Now they're minus 150 to make the playoffs because Orlando and Miami keep losing. So, in Toronto with an atrocious loss. Oh, we lost the tank parlay, the only team that screwed us. You can't lose at home to the Kings when you're trying to make. Now they're going to be in the play-in. That's an awful loss.
I mean, the playoffs are right around the corner. You're playing a team that was 1-23 against the A-League the last 24 times out. and you trailed pretty much the
Much of
entire game.
I know. They cut it to 1, and then they pulled away late. I know.
What the hell was that?
I know. So you're only 2 back behind Toronto, so maybe you could get the 7. But if you get the 8, that certainly changes things as well because you get 2 kicks at the can. So those odds have flipped too. And it's not that the schedule's that difficult. And it's also hard to look at the final 4 games, who's going to play, who's clinched what in that business too. But it's a doable schedule for the Hornets the rest of the way. Then maybe they could get the 7.
Yeah. Luke, who'd you say is out tonight? Wemby's out tonight.
Oh, come on.
Wemby's out tonight. Just came down 30 seconds ago. Where's the number at right now? I'm hold on. I'm in front of the screen. Yeah, Clippers. No wonder why. It's sliding up like a firecracker. I didn't even see it. Clippers are now favored by 1.5. Move just like that.
What do you think of that?
How many games can he miss? That's a big factor
I know,
here.
that's
How many more
another
games can he
big
miss?
factor.
Is
Yes.
he down to 3 games?
Oh, man. Yes.
That factors into awards?
They just pulled MVP too at Caesars.
Right. All right, follow the money.
It was an easy game last night. Vicious beat. If you laid the 14.5, but they were in total control.
Can you get their schedule? I want to know how many more back-to-backs they have.
I think this is it. Saturday they go to Denver.
In the meantime, hold on.
Right.
Follow
Gotcha.
the Money is brought to you by Profit X. Sign up today, make your first purchase, and earn a bonus up to $100 in bonus cash. Download the Profit X app and use the code VSINMM.
Monday, home to the Sixers. Wednesday, home to Portland. Friday, home to Dallas. Sunday, they close the season at home to Denver.
Well, then that's why they're holding them out tonight. It's the last back-to-back of the year. That's my assumption. Doesn't that make a little bit of sense? Man, that sucks. That really...
And it's a big break for the Clippers. Huge break.
Okay, so then we absolutely have to look at these books and what they're going to do with MVP numbers, too. Because I believe the straw poll comes out tomorrow.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Righty.
Total's got to jump up, too.
Is there much of an... Yeah, right. Is there much of an adjustment now on the MVP race?
Yeah. I agree with Caesars pulling it. That's big.
All right, coming up, we're going to get to, more of the NBA and MLB as well. We'll update the live betting numbers for this Twins-Royals game, discuss some bets for the 2 games later on tonight. We have a birthday boy who has crushed this team throughout his career. Find out which player next here on VSiN.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
I'll give you a spot tonight in the NBA where it makes sense to bet the road dog here, and that would be the Wolves at the Pistons. However, Anthony Edwards is still listed as questionable on the official NBA injury report, and the reason why I think the spot makes sense, though, for the Timberwolves is their first game since Monday, and this is the 3rd game in 4 nights for the Pistons, but I still can't get over how well this team, meaning the Pistons, have done without Cade Cunningham. They're 6-1 ATS without the guy.
Yep.
But if Edwards plays in the game tonight, I mean, this is the type of game that you want the Wolves, right? When they're taking on a really good team, they're going to have their attention. I want the Minnesota Timberwolves, when they play good competition, I don't want them against bad teams.
I don't know how much they're going to care because they know they're going to get either the 5 or the 6 seed. So I don't know how much motivation they have. I was also shocked that Anthony Edwards answered the question on how honest he was when he came off the bench and disappeared before game time. He had a Lamar Jackson moment. Incredible. Detroit is a great story. Again, more movement on Bickerstaff, Coach of the Year. Number 3 in offensive rebounding rate. Number 2 in defense. It is a difficult game. I will point out this note. This is money from Makinen. 11 of the last 12 have gone over in Detroit between these teams. So that is money. But this one's tough, but you're right. It's a great card. I don't have an opinion on this game. I do think your Charlotte team covers, though, as the Suns know that they're the 7. I mean, unless they absolutely collapse and the Clippers reel off a long winning streak to close the season, they're going to be the 7. So they're locked into where they're at. And the last 6 have gone under in Charlotte between those teams.
I want to get the numbers for the Suns when they're on the road, because I know the Hornets are a better road team than they are at home. So they're hosting tonight. Yeah, Phoenix is awesome on the road. They're 23-14 ATS on the year. They're really good, but then it does come into play, like you said, like the motivation at this point of the season, too. If you know you can't really get out of where you're currently sitting in the standings, and what are you going out there and playing for?
Right. Houston clinches a playoff spot with a Suns loss. Cleveland is in with a win, and they're double-digit favorites against the Warriors. And they were sitting around while Golden State was playing last night, and they've got a ton of injuries, and I would think more guys could be in the lineup tonight, but the Cavs are laying a big number.
Yeah.
I mentioned that Laker number opened 225.5 up to 232. And the Portland game opened 228. It's up to 232 at home against the Pelicans. The Dog is on a 7-1 ATS run in that matchup.
Well, I'll give you this. How do the Cavaliers lose this game if they care about it at all? It's a back-to-back for the Dubs. They got absolutely drilled last night by San Antonio. They were never in that game. And the Cavs are off that ugly loss to the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
They're laying a huge number, obviously.
They'll win, but they're going to get it done by 11. That was, the Spurs didn't cover last night. You're talking about big point spreads.
Sure, and Cleveland's been bad.
That was ridiculous. Spurs were up 22 with 1:50 left. They won by 14.
The Cavaliers have been bad late big numbers the entire year.
Okay. And Jared Allen's been on a great run when he's been in there, too.
Actually, yeah, I was going to ask you, do you want to go with him over again?
Yes. He got that prop. He went over his points prop early second quarter against the Lakers. So since they acquired Harden, he has been awesome. So I think Allen can eat tonight, too, for Cleveland. And Mitchell, he's been bad.
I know.
He's been just really struggling shooting the ball. So that's where others can get it going. And I would look at Allen, too, with so many easy baskets that he gets.
Okay, so there's one baseball game going on. Twins-Royals. Have you watched any of this game? I mean, they had
just a little bit.
They almost had like a wind advisory today blowing out. So I know home run props were popular in this game. It's 1-0 Twins right now. They go to the 8th.
Yeah, it figures. The most runs scored in that ballpark since 2023 yesterday.
And this total got bumped up to 9.5. Everybody was on it. Wind baked in there, obviously. And it's Taj Bradley going for the Twins. By the way, another example of how the Royals really don't strike out. They went under against Joe Ryan last night. And Taj Bradley's K prop today was 4.5, or some spots I think had 5. Under 3.5 was a massive number, a plus price for him to go under 3.5. He finished with 3. Keep your eye on that with the Royals here early on in the baseball season, because they did it again, but not strike. But they can't get any, they're not, where are the runs? Mm-hmm. They have nothing to show for it whatsoever. And currently the total in the game is 3.5. Over is plus 142 if you think we're going to get 3 more runs in this game. The Royals have come back, they're plus 230. So yesterday was a great day in Major League Baseball with a huge schedule, tons of aces going. Tonight you get 3 games. There was 1 postponed. But the Braves take on the Diamondbacks in Arizona. The birthday boy I talked about was Austin Riley, 29 years old today. In his career, his slash line against Arizona, 346, 377, 800 with 14 home runs, 39 RBIs, and 32 career games. I mean, that projects out to a first ballot Hall of Famer, obviously. It's Lopez against Ryan Nelson.
That's our guy.
Yeah, your guy.
He added muscle and picked up a slider in the offseason. And the slider worked well against the Dodgers the first time out. He gave up a couple runs, but it's a Dodger, so I'm not going to kill him for that. So I think the new and improved Nelson, changing the diet, saying his prayers, eating his vitamins, and putting on some muscle and coming up with this other pitch that has been awesome so far, I think he'll deliver tonight against Atlanta.
You got plenty of sleeping advice, I believe, in the offseason from Yusei Kikuchi.
Yeah, sure. That too. Right?
Yeah. On Lopez going for the Braves, only made 1 start in 2025. He had a career year in 2024 with an ERA of 1.99. His first start, he went 6 innings, allowed 1 run, struck out 3. Good write-up on this game today at vsin.com. You still have 5 hours to read it from Adam Burke. I'll give you a little bit of it here. All 4 of Lopez's pitches graded below average from a stuff plus standpoint. Hard time maintaining his velocity in spring training. Spin rates were way down in 2024, from 2024 and noticeably from 2023. In that first start, you got that. Maybe it was a little deceiving with the overall numbers. But Drake Baldwin, by the way, has been dynamite for the Braves to begin. He has scored or driven in 10 of the Braves' 24 runs, 3 home runs and 22 at-bats. The rest of the team has 3 home runs and 170 at-bats so far this year. Do you have anything on this game at all?
I would just look at Nelson or maybe strikeouts based on how well the slider went against the Dodgers. And he struck out 3 guys with that pitch.
Okay, I'll give you a system play from Mackin at the website. Since the beginning of the 2025 season, teams with strong bullpens, Steve Mackin ratings of 10 or higher, and an elite starting pitcher with a Mackin rating of 20 plus, you're up 30 units betting them since the beginning of last year when they're not matched against the same kind of outfit. That's Atlanta tonight, laying this number against the Diamondbacks. And Mackin puts up unbelievable numbers every day during the baseball season. That's one of his systems that he rides.
Okay, and our guy Matt Vasgersian's on the game tonight on MLB Network with the Mets and the Giants. Robbie Ray going for the Giants, and the Mets cannot hit, and they are atrocious with runners in scoring position. It was brutal what happened in the St. Louis series. Peterson's $1.20. I don't know about this one.
Peterson was good the first time out. It was against the Pirates.
I like Robbie Ray.
Yeah, I like him too.
Mets can't hit?
Well, the overall numbers again, 12 runs in 5 games. If you take out the one against the Padres on Tuesday. No, that's the Giants. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Here you go. To clarify, the Mets have 12 runs in their last 5 games. The Giants scored 9 against the Padres on Tuesday. Outside of that, they've only scored 5 runs in the other 5 games. But Robbie Ray was fine.
Yes.
In his first start.
Mm-hmm. A lot of respect for the Mets.
And Peterson is at 2.25 ERAs last 3 games against the Giants. And Marcus Semien hitless last 18 at-bats overall.
Go first 5 under, too, the way these teams are scuffling. No doubt about it.
I'll give you another trend. This, again, the game is going on as we speak, but it was one of Mackinac systems. Early season road dogs in March, April, and May between even money and plus 160. Awful loss. Awful loss. You're up 68 units since the beginning of 2021. You're up, if you break it down into divisional games, you're up 42 units the last 316 games. Pretty good. Twins qualified. They're leading right now 1-0 over Cole Reagans.
What a night. Colorado loses. Dodgers lose. Toronto can't beat Sacramento. Vancouver scores 20 seconds into the game. They're great tweets and responses because I put it reverse puck line was 7-1.
Right.
What if I told you Colorado was going to score 6 goals last night? I mean,
then it would have been empty the bank on them.
Sure. And they lose the game at home 8-6.
So how about this? I bet them live the Avalanche down big when they're down like 6-3 and 6-4.
Right.
I got 5-1 and like plus 240 to come back and win the game.
Yeah.
Before you could blink, it's 6-6.
Yes.
And then
they answered
10 seconds later, it's 7-6.
I know.
Like, what on earth is happening here?
So funny.
So now that same team, the Canucks, have to play again tonight. And they were in elevation last night.
Yeah.
I have a lot of numbers on this that we're going to get to.
We're brought to you by Profit X. Masters Week, the perfect time to start. Masters of your domain. Lord of the Manor. Make one play of $50 or more on any Masters market, win or lose, and earn an entry to win a $1,000 golf prize of your choice. Get on Profit X, the Masters of your domain contest. You can pick from a $1,000 round of golf, a club of your choice, or a $1,000 gift card to any golf apparel brand. Win or lose on your play, you're in the running. Download the Profit X app, code VSINMM. Make your first purchase, earn that bonus, get in on the action at Augusta. Download Profit X today, code VSINMM. Join now. Get it. Great contest, great name.
Royce Lewis for the Twins just hit a double. I thought it was gone. To the wall, and now the Twins have runners on second and third, nobody out, up 1-0 in the top of the 8th. So we'll dive more into that game from last night, spin it forward to tonight. I think there are a couple of bets worth making with the Wild. We'll kick it around with Eddie Olczyk and a lot of other stuff in the NHL next here on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Big card tonight, busy in the National Hockey League off a gigantic upset last night as the Vancouver Canucks, worst team in the league, went to Colorado and won by a score of 8-6. Are you serious? Eddie Olczyk, the great Eddie Olczyk, joins the program now, and he is on the Progressive guest line. Good afternoon, Eddie. You were on the game in San Jose last night. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Hey, Mitch, Pauly, nice to be with you guys. Thanks for having me. Yeah, we had a hell of a game in San Jose last night. Actually, just take people inside a little bit. We actually on TNT, our schedule originally had us going to LA for the Blues and Kings. And look, the Kings end up going into the last wild card position last night with that win over the Blues. But, as a company, our bosses decided to switch the game, and, it ended up being a heck of a game, and we saw Macklin Celebrini at his very, very best with a 4-point night and a couple of goals. So it was great to be there. It was really electric in the Shark Tank, and they still have given themselves a chance to get into the playoffs. So I was watching a scoreboard. I actually gave a scoreboard update there during the game last night, and said that Vancouver had put up a snowman on the Avalanche, and it was kind of hard to really look at it and believe that had happened. But as you guys know, in the game of hockey, sometimes that puck bounces a certain way, and it doesn't matter if you're first place or dead last. You're going to have games like that, and certainly without seeing anything, it kind of feels it feels like it was one of those games for the Avalanche, who put up 9 the game before against Calgary, and that's just the game of hockey. So yeah, that's obviously a major upset, and especially putting up 8 goals against the Avalanche.
So then what do you think tonight? Here you go with Vancouver, 52 points on the year, by far the worst team in the league. Just accomplished that. That was their Stanley Cup final, basically, and now they have to play again tonight against Minnesota.
Yeah.
Horrific spot. So what do you make of it?
Yeah. It's one of those, without watching a game last night, Mitch, it's kind of hard to, because you could play good as a team, and sometimes your goalie just doesn't, he just doesn't have it, or, sometimes it just, like I said, the puck will bounce a certain way, and then you got to be able to get back, right into it. But for Vancouver going into mini, it's on platter there for the Wild. It is. It's there for them for the taking. And do you expect Vancouver to get, put another, 5 or 6 goals up on the board? I wouldn't. But it would kind of feel like, to me, this would be a game where, Mini has their way early and can kind of ride to the finish line. So something like maybe like a 5-2 or a 6-2 type of game in favor of the Wild.
There's a lot of great stories with teams. There's a bizarre story in our backyard here. You've never been a part of this, but how about 3 weeks left in the season, less than 2 years removed from winning a cup, Vegas fires Cassidy. Can you, as a former player, what are the signs that you lose the dressing room and lose the team, and just your whole thoughts on firing the guy now?
Yeah. Look, Bruce Cassidy is as good as a coach there is in the National Hockey League. And look, if I was running a team right now and I was a team that was maybe in flux or had an interim coach or was thinking about making a change at some point, Bruce Cassidy is not going to be on the open market for very long. I would make a move and I would bring him in right now. If I knew he was the guy, I would bring him in right now and solidify that position, and you're set for the next 5-6 years. It is hard to believe, but George McPhee and Kelly McCrimmon, the brass of the Vegas Golden Knights, they just didn't wake up Sunday morning, Pauly, as you know, and Mitch. They just didn't wake up and go, okay, well, we're going to fire Butch here, and I'm sure it was probably on the table for a little while. The team hasn't been the same, really since the Olympic break. Now, in fairness to the coach and to the team, the goaltending has been a sore spot, and they've been chasing a lot of games, and their overtime record hasn't been all that great. So it's happened before. I remember in New Jersey with the Devils back, I think it was Robbie Ftorek was the coach, and then the legendary Hall of Famer, the great Larry Robinson, came in under Lou Lamoriello, the president and general manager, and I think they ended up winning the Stanley Cup. So, it is odd. It is strange, but I'm sure that the Vegas Golden Knights brass and Mr. Foley, the owner of the team, they probably felt like a change was needed or was coming, but I think that they were hoping against hope that the team would turn it around. And they did look flat for a long, for long periods of time. And going into the playoffs, would you feel okay as an organization doing that, or do you think a change was needed? Now, you could argue about acquisitions. You could argue about injuries. How bad do they miss William Karlsson? Let's put that out there. I mean, Wild Bill is a huge part of that team, especially at center ice. So long-winded, it sucks. It's not fair, but everybody understands the role. And as an organization, you get paid to make those decisions. If you don't feel you're going to be able to take that step that you want with the guy you have behind the bench, regardless of the resume, you're going to do what you feel is right. And then obviously they will be judged accordingly, but Bruce Cassidy will not be out of work very long, and we'll see how it all plays out. So yeah, it was a little bit, I shouldn't say it was a surprise, because you kind of heard some rumors and speculation, but then the longer you went in the year, Mitch, Pauly, to the heart of your question, it was like, well, maybe they're just going to give him a chance. And he did win a cup for him a couple of years ago. And next thing you know, it's a change, and Torts comes in, and we'll see how it all plays out. And obviously they got off to a good start the other night against Vancouver.
Buffalo's going to end this drought. What do you think of Buffalo's chances in the playoffs?
Why not? Why not? They've got size. They've got speed. They seem to be playing with a boatload of confidence. They're defending much better than they were earlier in the year. Now the question is, will they be able to adjust to come playoff time? Because as we've said over the years when I've been on your guys' show, the rink gets a little smaller come playoff time. The rink shrinks. And when that happens, things happen a lot quicker. Everybody's taking their game up to another level. Can you play that type of style and play that type of game in the playoffs? And I'll be honest, they've had a little bit of a pothole here. I know they came back and beat Seattle the other day when they were down 2 Cobb going into third, and they had lost the game, I think, the night before. And I think they maybe lost 3 or 4. Don't quote me, but they had a little bit of a blip because they went on a 35 or a 40 game heater where they only lost 4 games in regulation, which is absolutely unheard of. I actually think that's good. I don't know if you want to be going into the playoffs on a 50-game heater where you've only lost 7 games in regulation. So I think it's good. I think it's good to get knocked down every once in a while. Yeah, they want to get first place in the division and let Tampa play whoever they have to is a second place team. But that looks like it's going to go right down to the wire. But the question mark is A, can they do it in the playoffs? And then B, more importantly, is can they get the goaltending? And that would probably be, the biggest question mark. The one thing I will say is I've had a boatload of people ask me, and I happened to be in town on the weekend. My wife and I celebrated her birthday at the Eagles concert, by the way, at the Sphere, and that was absolutely incredible. So, the talk around the Red Rock was, what's your thoughts on Ottawa? And I'll be honest with you, and I know Ottawa's on the outside looking in right now in the Eastern Conference, but I think that they have the type of team is that if they just, they get in, the question mark there too is their health on the back end. I mean, they're so banged up on the back end right now, but it sounds like, and I'm hearing that they're going to get healthy on the back end. A, can they get in? But B, is the goaltending, can the goaltending be good enough? And I think it can if they are healthy, because they're not going to give up 15 quality scoring chances a game if their defense is healthy. They're only going to give up maybe 9 or 10. I think Ottawa in the Eastern Conference, where I think it's Tampa, and I think it's Tampa and everybody else, to be honest with you. That's just my feeling. But if Ottawa can somehow get in, I think that Ottawa could really make some hay in the playoffs. Now, whether or not they get in, that's another story. But if they do, I would say keep an eye on the Ottawa Senators, because I just think that they have a team that's built for the playoffs, but they got to get in.
Very good. Eddie, you're the best. As always, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate that.
Okay, guys. Talk to you soon. Thanks.
Appreciate you. We're brought to you by ProfitX. New users get a side-up bonus of up to $100 in bonus cash just for getting started with code VSINMM. Make one play of $50 or more on any Masters market, win or lose, and earn an entry to win a $1,000 golf prize of your choice, a club, a round of golf, or a gift card to any golf apparel brand. Win or lose on your play, you're in the running. Download the app now, ProfitX, code VSINMM. Make your first purchase, earn that bonus, and get in on the action at Augusta. Download ProfitX today, code VSINMM.
It was Eddie Olczyk on the Progressive Guest Line. Up next, Win Some, Lose Some.
Banger.
The tanking parlay was a loser, and Wemby went bonkers with his props. Pauly has the details coming up next.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Vancouver Canucks plus 390 just to win the game. Reverse puck line 7-1, and they also won the first period plus 240. 8-6 scored 20 seconds into the game as well. And now the Minnesota Wild are 450 today. See if Vancouver can do it again.
Well, you have a couple of bets, right, to make. I think, again, the Wild team total over in the first period,
Yeah.
which the Avalanche cashed last night.
Yeah.
It's as high. It was like plus 172 earlier this morning. I threw a little bit on team total over 2 at higher than 3-1 in the first period. This should be just an onslaught from the get-go, I would think.
You would think. Sacramento Kings plus 550. Toronto Raptors with a ridiculous loss at home. Tatum, triple-double, 25-1. Wow. How about that start? The Celtics had 53 points after the first quarter and were 14 of 19 from 3 to start the game. Wemby, 40 points, almost 6-1. To have 35 and 14 at FanDuel, plus 875. Atlanta Hawks have won 17 of 19. Magic number to win the division, 3. They're minus 2,500 now. They were in last place for much of the season. What was that price before they started this great turnaround?
Well, they were in 4th place, right? Because of Washington.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. They were way back, and now they've rattled off 17 of 19. They're going to win this.
So I can tell you this, Pauly. When I was looking at trying to hedge my Hornets division ticket, this goes back several weeks, all 4 of those teams were sold within 2 games. And the Hawks were out by 2.5 games. They were at least 10-1.
Yeah. Yep.
Before they went on this massive winning streak.
Also, their magic number for a top 6 seed is 4. Most wins since 2015-16. Bulls Pacers over, 243 up to 247. Correct. 145, 126. And the Guardians beat the Dodgers, plus 250. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos at Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in, we'll put you on. I retweeted this earlier today. This was trending all day yesterday. This is Honey, a senior dog, half blind, who survived the bear attack, protecting the chickens and the family from the bear. Going to be okay. But there's the picture with the human and the picture with the bandages. Great job, Honey. That's an incredible story. Fighting off the bear to protect everyone.
They'll die for it.
It's great. Wow. This is, of all people, Dave Tooley retweeted this. That's why I saw it. I mean, this is great. About the perfect. This goes back. Look at this refrigerator. It's a regular fridge, and on the right, it's like Han Solo when he's frozen, Return of the Jedi. On the other side, well, you get the Jabba the Hutt's got him, and Boba Fett. And look at that. If that's actually real, that's incredible. There's a refrigerator like that on the side with Han Solo being frozen, and another one, the perfect mug, actually exists from Terminator 2. When Schwarzenegger shoots the guy in the, I think it's Robert Patrick who played the guy, and there was the big hole in his face, and it just goes back together. You see the hole, you got the hole there, and that's where you hold it, and then there's the shot of the face on the other side, where you can hold it with your hand.
It was Robert Patrick.
Robert Patrick, thank you.
By the way, you could have given me 1,000 guesses at the fridge, and I would not have gotten
come
Han Solo.
on, Boba Fett?
I had no idea who it
Jabba
was.
the Hutt? Oh, man.
You could have given me clues and hints. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's how Return of the Jedi starts. At the end, Vader freezes them and Empire Strikes Back. No? No recall?
No idea.
Can't get there?
No.
Okay. Lose some, Oklahoma. 5.5 up to 9. 1 in overtime in the Crown. It happened to the Magic again. They lost by 30 at home to the Hawks. Something wrong with this team.
Well, Wagner came back for the first time, but that can't be it, I wouldn't think.
No.
What a disappointing season.
No kidding. 1 lose some here. It's a win some for the Dogs. It's a lose some for the humans. Look at this guy. Just goes in and gets the treats himself. He watches what they have in the cupboard. He's so damn big, he just stands up. He can open the cupboard by himself and get the treats.
Okay, so I have a couple questions here. Are those like small drawers, or is that the biggest dog in the history of mankind? Is he like 8 feet tall on his hind legs, or are those drawers meant for like a 2-year-old?
Yeah, it might be a little bit of both. Oh, look, he's got the whole thing. There he is.
Oh, yeah, why not?
He grabs the whole bag.
Look at that.
Nah, he's a big boy. Yeah, the more you look at it, he's a big fella. Opens it up, grabs the bag, and they have a day, fella. Piece of cake. You pay attention, sure. It's like those dogs, those street dogs, who sit there and watch humans come up and pay for stuff at the stands with cash, and they realize, well, my currency, I can bring a leaf, I can bring a rock, and I can get a treat. And they finally figure it out. It's awesome. Some bad beats. Padres, this happened while we were on the air yesterday. Padres Giants under 8. Padres get 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th. Vicious push. Oklahoma, Colorado under. Goes over because of overtime, and the Spurs lane 14.5 led Golden State by 22 with less than 2 minutes left, and they won by 14. Founded in 2011, Sharp Plays just completed another dominant run. 15 straight years of winning, all documented, records and logs publicly, sharpplays.com. When they move, books take notice, advanced AI tools, trusted insider intelligence, identifying price value before the numbers shift, respected, watched, and feared. Daily Mr. Poison tweets. Start winning with them. Sharpplays.com.
Throw some creative Final Four props at you. You're always Mr. Fun Poison with a no buzzer beater, right, for the whole tournament?
Uh-huh.
Will there be a buzzer beater in the Final Four? Is 25-1.
You know, DraftKings, Caesars has this up in play while the game's going on. Will there be a buzzer beater in this game? So, well, you got 2 close games. The first time in what? Is it 30 years, 50 years where both semis are under 2? 2.5?
Yeah, and the last one in the Final Four, I'm probably blanking on some, but I know we had a buzzer beater when San Diego State played Florida Atlantic.
Yeah.
That was, 2023? To go to the national title game. You can also bet on the highest scoring player of the Final Four. Wagler from Illinois is a short shot at plus 350. Lendenborg is 4-1 at Michigan. Does this continue with Terrace Reed? I made a case for him on Pod of the Future is available now. We talked about most outstanding player. What if UConn wins this game? I mean, Terrace Reed has been by far and away their best player.
The offense got to go through him.
Yeah, he's 18-1 to win most outstanding player. If UConn wins the whole thing, the only other player you could give it to is Mullins based on that crazy shot at the end of the game against Duke.
Oh, also what he did against Furman. I mean, he's only 3 guys in 50 years have had a 30-20 game.
So if you think UConn can win the whole thing, I would sprinkle on Reed to win that award.
Yeah.
And I looked it up, and is that back-to-back home runs?
Yes,
The Twins have now hit 2 home runs in the 9th inning. 4-1. There you go. Now all those in-play overs at a plus price coming in.
Man.
Now the wind's finally blowing out, I guess, when it doesn't matter. 4-1 right now. There's 1 out.
Where did this guy who works for Circa make these comments about UConn?
Oh, that was in Doug Kazarian's story.
Oh, it was.
DK's on a little bit later on today. He wrote about it in the New York Post.
Okay.
It was Chase Michelson who said if UConn wins, that's going to suck. He said, I wrote money on UConn on purpose. I didn't think they'd get here. One of the quotes that he gave Doug in his story.
Yeah. Well, it shouldn't be here, but it certainly, they were a 2 seed.
And you like
That's
them.
interesting.
You bet them against Illinois.
Be a good game.
Right.
Should be fascinating games on paper. I can't wait to talk to Gavin coming up as well.
I know.
You know, it's Arizona, number 1, getting to the free throw line. Not so much with the threes. Michigan, awesome from 3.
Uh-oh.
What?
Uh-oh.
Another one?
Is that
in a row?
Is that back-to-back-to-back?
Oh, man.
That might be 3 in a row for the Twins.
He hits it over the Circus Sports sign there.
And Josh Bell was Josh Bell was a nice number to homer again today. Let's see here. That is...
Is it back-to-back-to-back?
No, because Wallner hit 1, and then there was an out, and then Clemens and Bell just went back-to-back.
Oh, man.
And if Lewis can do it, that'll be belly-to-belly.
Was this total? What was this total?
That was 9.5.
Oh, okay.
But with 1 out here, the Twins keep adding. If you have an under ticket in this game, you're not comfortable right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting a little hairy here in Kansas City. And this was bet to 9.5, by the way, with the total. The wind obviously was. I know Kevin Roth, the meteorologist, was tweeting about it today. Winds are going to be blowing out big time. Like And earlier, like the infield dirt was flying around like a tornado in Kansas City.
Do you think UConn, what do they do offensively? Like, how many points do they need to score to win? Illinois allowed 55 to VCU, 55 to Houston, 59 to Iowa.
Illinois is a freight train on offense.
Shoot a lot of threes, but if they're going to guard like that and lock you down defensively.
Can UConn win if they score 70?
Yes.
They can?
Yes.
I was going to say they probably need like 75.
Do you anticipate an ugly game?
I think that's how Hurley would like to draw it up.
That's been surprising with the last two Illinois games have been ugly, right? But to be able to guard like that and hold your opponents in the 50s, well done.
And then Hurley's the complete X factor, too.
Yes.
We're going to talk some college basketball with Gavin McCarthy coming up next. He is recently blown up by previewing games on X. We'll run down the Final Four with him coming up and the numbers on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.